Hello. Hello, Meta. Hope everybody's doing well. Hello. My name is Marcus. Thank you for tuning into my live that I have scheduled for today. So hello. As everybody come in, I'm just on both platforms. Typing where you're watching from. And if you come watching the replay, put hashtag replay. And just come on in. Um, if you're on Meta, please check out the different platforms on the border. And if you're on IG, please go over to Facebook if you have one, the Meta, and follow me on A Journey Worth Finishing. Again, that's A Journey Worth Finishing. You should see my face. So hope everybody's doing well. I know tonight was supposed to be, it's still gonna be kind of sorta um, discussion on I used to be a hugger. But as I began to dive deep into this and just do some thinking and spend some time with God, I realized there's some more things I need to unpack before I come on and share. But I am going to talk about it still, but it's going to be kind of a brief discussion because I don't want to keep people on too long. I'm going to maybe like 5 minutes at the and 10 minutes at the most. But I just want to be short and quick. So I want this to be a little discussion, um, but also a little teaching too, and give you some points and maybe a quick prayer and move on. So you can go on about your night. So again, my name is Marcus, and I used to be a hugger. I used to love and embrace people, but something happened, and I'm diving in now. So like, I'm not gonna keep you too long. So let's keep going. I was asking myself, what caused this disconnection from myself and from others? And the word that came to my spirit was vulnerability. And so when we talk about vulnerability, we must think about. I was just reading my notes because I had like a whole outline lined out about vulnerability and how it is and how it's part of our wellness connection and how it's very important to be vulnerable, also to be vulnerable to the right people. And um, me used to being a hugger, I think I was vulnerable to the wrong people. So what is vulnerability? I pull this off the internet. To embrace others and to be embraced require vulnerability. Being capable of becoming physically or emotionally wounded or to be open to attack or damage is a definition used by Webster to define vulnerability. So being open, being willing, to trust others, and vulnerability will allow you to be vulnerable, allow you to put down your guard and open up. Like coming on here is being vulnerable for me. Vulnerability will look different for others, because we all have our life journey and our life path that we take that allow us to look and to see how much can we really open up to others. And of course, I'm not saying open up to anybody, use discernment. So I used to be a hugger. I say that all because these last few years, life happened. You know how they say life be lifing? Life happened, and certain things caused me to kind of pull away. And it's so funny because there's a saying, which is true when I wrote this blog back in 2017. There's a body and soul connection. We are trying beings, body, soul, and spirit. And there's a body soul connection. Many people say this, how sometimes when there's something wrong in our body, it can affect our emotions. Vice versa, when something wrong with our emotions, it can affect our body. Like, 'cause sometimes we deal with things on a daily basis with our body. For example, you might have a problem walking, or you might have a problem. Something might just change. You might get in an accident. It might shift your ability and mobility to do something. If you don't take care of that and don't be vulnerable to others or maybe seek help, or it might be really hard on you. It might really impact your emotions. And of course, trauma, we know, impacts our emotions. That's why I go back to that body soul connection. There's a great book out called The Body Keep the Score. How sometimes being at an adult age, sometimes we have stuff that's embedded into our soul and it also embedded into our body from a long time ago. I'm just giving you a little layover because I'm gonna come back next week, hopefully, God willing, whenever God tell me to come back. Because I say there's so much more than I'm realizing. You know that I used to be a hugger. How I'm kind of standoffish now. And one other reason I'm gonna go ahead and say is also my mobility is what I realize is kind of caused me not to embrace others as much because I don't want to fall I don't want to fall on the ground. I don't want to fall on them. And also just relearning to use my body. And when we talk about the body soul connection and me being vulnerable now, that also played an impact on my soul and impacted my heart and my emotions. And a little bit of bitterness creeped in too, and which isn't good for the soul or good for the body because it weakens the bones, as scripture says. So, with all that happening, those emotions in my body, certain things showed up on my face like a blank stare. So it's important to know this about myself as I'm learning and taking to this journey of returning to embracing others, but not everybody, because this virus is still out there. So just learning more about myself and also learning more about others. But like I said, this is just a little brief overview as we talk about the body soul connection, how important it is for us to understand that. So I'm just going over my notes a little bit and just realizing, how the body, soul, and connection really can impact one person's life. And when I say I used to be a hugger, it's funny how, and it's okay. I'm realizing it's okay now being at this point in my life. It's okay, give myself grace and give myself time. Because sometimes it's kind of hard to explain to others what I'm dealing with, what we might be dealing with. And sometimes you don't owe that to others to explain. It's come down to you being vulnerable enough to share that and also using discernment to share that. So this live probably kind of been all over the place because as I said, I was gonna come on and share different details on how I heal by learning. I'm still going through that process. So it's very important, but having like being vulnerable, also having like a great connection, a great social network. In order for you to have that great social network of family and friends, it come back to vulnerability. Being able to share what's on your soul, what's on your mind. Because life happens. These past few years, just with what happened in 2020, which shook the whole world, everybody's soul was impacted. And many things came up in people's body because the whole world changed and the whole world is different now. So there's a few scriptures that I'm starting to meditate on. Let's see if I can pull up meditate on that help me on my journey as I go through these different things. I can't even find them right now, but I might post them later though. But like I said, I'm gonna come on next week and share more just on how the body and the soul is connected and how being vulnerable is very important, how I'm returning back to hugging some others and also embracing others. And also come down also to like the body part connection, being comfortable in your body. Because just as people age and people get older, it's important of us to take care of our body and our soul. And sometimes, you can't do all the things you used to do. And we must learn how to deal with that and also how to be okay with it. So as I'm looking for my verses, which I can't find at the moment, let me see if I can find these verses. I can't, but it's all right. So just remember this. I will see you next Wednesday. And also let's think about too, like, because we all go through life situations and just try not to allow certain things to impact your soul. Seek counseling, find a social network that can help you relax and enjoy life. There's so many different things that we don't realize really, really impact our soul and can damage our soul. And it's very important for us to take care of ourselves. So there's a few things I want to leave with you is how can a wounded soul be vulnerable? Is it possible for a soul wound to be passed down? Is it like generation? I know because like sometimes we talk about like past trauma, that we might be dealing with certain things that our parents dealt with and that our forefathers dealt with. And of course, which I think everybody can agree with this, I was talking about in 2020, can traumatic events wound your soul? So Next week, I'm gonna come back on hopefully the same time and discuss these topics. So I want to talk to God more about this, about the body soul connection, as I return to embracing others and being more vulnerable. So I hope this bless you. It blessed me, because it was kind of interesting for me to see how God want to take this and how He want to use me to talk about this. So I just ask you as you go forth throughout the week is to give yourself grace, to give yourself, grace and mercy. Like, don't be so hard on yourself, because, like I said, we all have to live this thing called life. We all have to wake up every day and deal with different scenarios, different cases. Some things that we keep to ourselves, which I'm learning not to find that trusted friend, that trusted person you can share with. So my name is Marcus, and I hope you enjoy this live. Like I said, I'm trying not to go over 10 minutes or 11 minutes. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. And I'll be back next Wednesday with more of an outline to go over things with you, for as me returning to embracing others and being more vulnerable and sharing my story on the impact, what caused me to kind of pour back, because it was both body, soul experiences, and it happened back to back, back to back. But through it all, I give praise and honor to God for keeping me through it all. Because it wasn't for God, I would have lost my mind. So I bless you. I wish you the best of luck. And I will talk to you later. When I talk about God, I'm also referring to Jesus the Christ. So y'all have a good one and be blessed. Peace.